now.
Grim details tonight on America's failing education system. A new report on this critical topic was commissioned by groups from opposite ends of the political spectrum. And among the report's findings, a lack of reading and math skills in pre-high school students, and graduating students are generally unprepared for college or the workplace. Now, joining me now is John Podesta, President and CEO of the Center for American Progress and former White House Chief of Staff under President Clinton. Thanks for being with us, sir.
Nice to be with you, Kate.
You know, I looked at this report, and it's fascinating because it really goes state by state. But you decided, you look at 9 categories in preparedness, and yet you decided to grade this on a curve because if you didn't, every state in the nation would receive a C or lower. Are you really for grade inflation on this report?
Well, I'd say a couple of things about that. First of all, I think the one thing that's probably the most disturbing finding of the report is that there's no state in the country where 4th graders and 8th graders in math and reading, where there are a majority of students in those states that are proficient in math and reading in the 4th and 8th grade. So that's a pretty grim statistic. But I think there is variation amongst the states, and one of the things we wanted to do in not assigning an overall grade and in grading on a curve, if you will, against these criteria is to show that where people and where leadership both at the political level in the schools and amongst parents where there was leadership, that you did have variation, so that you see a state like Massachusetts scoring very high.
Well, let's take a look at Massachusetts. Let's take a look at a good one and one who did very badly. Massachusetts got an A for overall academic achievement. State also received an A for return on investment. That's how much money you spend per child, which is $11,180 per student each year. 72% of the state's 9th graders receive a diploma in 4 years. What's Massachusetts doing right? What is it effective?
Well, I think they've had, again, a sustained effort. It's been bipartisan. It's been over a long time to really try to do the kinds of reforms that the accompanying joint platform that we put out with the Chamber of Commerce recommended, which is to put better teachers in the classroom, focus on high poverty schools, try to be innovative in the way that students use their time, provide more time in school, and they've just had a very strong, sustained effort at that, and the results show.
Mm-hmm. Let's look at New Mexico, and it did very poorly. It has an F for academic achievement. It scored 16 points lower than the national average for 4th graders. New Mexico also received an F on return on investment. 321,000 public school students. The state spends $6,447 per student a year. Only 57% of the 9th graders graduate from high school in 4 years, and the national average is 70%. What's going on in New Mexico?
Well, you know, first of all, it's a high poverty state. It has a very high percentage of minority students in the schools there. But, you know, I think they obviously need to try to do better by all those students. And I think that every one of those students needs to have a chance to succeed in a modern economy, in a 21st century economy. Recently, I think they've taken some steps to expand preschool, to provide more accountability. They did a little bit better if you look at the overall grades on the kinds of system-wide improvements that need to happen with respect to teacher testing and those sort of things. So I think they're on the right track, but it's going to take time, and they're going to need to sustain that commitment to it. The governor's put a lot of effort into trying to get more kids in college and to really focus on preschool. Those are important reforms, but obviously New Mexico is lagging.
Yeah, we have a statement from the New Mexico Secretary of Education. Let's read it. Education reform in New Mexico has been substantive. Genuine reform takes time. New Mexico will see the return on investment, like colleges and career alignment initiatives, tougher standards, and increased classroom relevance and rigor. It's a sort of we'll try, we're doing better sort of statement. You know, your report recommends 4 priorities, and I have to say maybe there's another one too, because we looked up the national teacher's salary, the average, and it's $49,000 a year. You recommend better teaching, more innovation, better management, and better data. And we would probably lump in there probably better pay for teachers.
Right.
The one thing that we don't understand is better data. Could you explain that a bit?
Sure. I think that on the data side, you need to be able to see how kids are progressing and what methods are working better, what teachers are being effective in helping kids learn the skills that they need to succeed in school as they progress. And the states vary with respect to how much information that they can produce in terms of what's happening within each district, within each school, and particularly with respect to students, so that we can really see progress move forward. I think we've seen some improvements in that over the last 4 or 5 years, but I think genuinely more needs to be done so that we can align teacher performance pay to improve student performance and a variety of other things to find the best new innovations that are going to work and then try to replicate those across the board. Yeah. With respect to that teacher salary point, the Chamber joined us in calling for higher starting salaries for teachers, and that's an important feature of our current system. We need to pay teachers better.
I really just have this one follow-up, and 1983 Education Nation at Risk report, and yet the U.S. Chamber of Commerce is just looking at this now. Why the lag on this? This is so important.
Well, that's probably, I come from the other side of the political spectrum, so that's probably a question better put to the Chamber. But I think it's important that the U.S. Chamber at the national level has gotten on board. They pulled their membership, and training and education top the list of things that public policy concerns that their members are concerned about, because small business, big business need a trained workforce if they're going to succeed in the global economy.
Well, we can only say it's about time this was regarded seriously. Thank you very much, John Podesta, for joining us to discuss it. Thank you, sir.
You.
Coming up at the top of the hour, situation